Today on Drawbli.
I'm drawing light on faces.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Abby.
And we are self-taught artists documenting our journey of improving at drawing, which is of course better with friends.
So click that subscribe button if you're new around here.
And check out our guidebook How to Easily Draw Every Day at the link below in the description. Abby, tell me about your light. Tell me about your faces. Tell me about your light on faces.
Okay, so join me on this journey. This really embodies the spirit of Drawbli, trying to draw every day even when it's hard. I was working a very long nursing contract, 4/12s per week, which is fine, but it didn't leave me with much time to draw.
4 12-hour shifts.
So
Was this after 4 of them in a row?
I think it was.
I would say that four 12-hour shifts in general. By the way, amazing job on this so far. The sketch is really, really good.
Thank you.
I love the face.
Like you, I'm trying to be inspired by the reference, but not do one-for-one copies.
That's amazing.
But I wish I'd left the face just like this. I changed the face a little bit, but I love this first iteration. Anyway.
Real quick, I just want to say that, a 12-hour shift is bad enough as is, but a 12-hour shift as a nurse is just like absolute insanity.
Oh, it's a lot, but it's what I signed up for. It's how I pay the bills.
Wow, this is awesome.
Thank you. I loved how it turned out. And I used color harmony to pick my colors, which is why you have this kind of deep mustard color with this deep red color, because they were supposed to look good together.
Mustard.
I love that.
That is not mustard. Mustard is like more of a bright yellow, right?
Oh, I think you're right.
It's more of like a puce.
I think you're right. I don't know.
You don't know your color.
I guess I don't know my colors.
I actually don't know what a mustard, maybe a mustard green.
Maybe like a stone mustard.
A grello, if you will.
Yeah. Either way. I did like the way these colors look together. And it reminded me of one thing I heard about quilting once, where they say that when you're picking colors for a quilt, you pick 2 colors that you think there's no way they'd look good together, and those are the colors that look good together in a quilt.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. But apparently that's a good rule of thumb when you're quilting.
Pick 2 colors that would never look good together. I'm gonna try that in my next painting.
Yeah. Try it. Maybe it'll work for you. Look, I feel like I could have given her horns pretty easily and made her like a tiefling like you did in a video a long time ago.
That's true. You could have done that like I did.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 was hot, man.
It sure was. Wow, I really like this face a lot. This is cool.
Thank you. Of the 2 portraits I drew when I was doing like patchy light on faces, this is my favorite one, but I do draw another.
Did you approach this with like, I really want to practice lighting?
Yeah, I think I did. I wanted to just draw for the sake of drawing. This one was interesting to do because I actually did it like on my lunch breaks and stuff at the hospital.
Wow, that's rough.
And it shows. Oh, okay.
I like what you're doing with your line color, the like pinkish orange.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought that looked pretty cool together. And here I'm drawing it upside down to get a feel for negative spaces.
Ah, that's so smart.
Yeah.
I've heard of this many times, but not really practiced it myself.
For some reason on this one, I was a lot more interested in getting like the proportions and shapes a lot more true to the reference. So there's plenty of redrawing that goes on in the sketch, trying to get these leaves to line up with her face the way that I think they should. So the sketch actually takes me a long time, and sometimes what happens when I take a really long time on a sketch, I run out of steam like crazy for the coloring process. So
Maybe in those situations, we should just not color. That's what I do anymore.
Oh,
I just throw down, if I'm really feeling like, this sketch needs a little something, like if you saw my last set of sketches that I did, I just threw in a gray color, just to separate it from the background a little.
Gotcha.
I find that works pretty well.
Nice.
But sometimes block colors can be really cool as well.
That's a great philosophy, and I should have stuck with that. I always learn, we always learn from each other, don't we? So yeah, she's a little less refined, but I did, I'm trying to play with my brushes a little bit here and create like brushes that work just right for me. I don't have anything specific besides the fact that I want to add flow to them. I love a brush with a good amount of flow to it.
Like the lazy mouse kind of setting?
Exactly. Plus I see Loish use that, so I'm always like...
Plus Abby sees Loish do it, so she has to. I'm the same way though. Anything Loish does, I want to do too.
Yeah, she's so great. So yeah, I was doing this on my lunch breaks at work. It was nice, but even your lunch break, your phone goes off every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you get no downtime as a nurse.
No, you don't. And sometimes you walk out of there feeling
At least
like
a floor nurse.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is brutal.
It's basically med surge. It's like the patients are
Great eye.
sick. Thank you. But it's also very stimulating, can be very exciting. It's definitely like all day solving difficult puzzles. Kind of not dissimilar probably from somebody who does like coding for a job where I'm told it can be a lot like a puzzle solving all day.
Yeah, except you can just go to Stack Overflow and look up all the answers.
I can look up some answers too. I'm not recreating the medical wheel.
Fair.
And I don't, yeah. There's puzzles that are at my pay grade and puzzles that I'm like, that's a great question for the doctor. And so there's all kinds of puzzles to solve.
I like how you hid your undersketch there to work on this face more.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So this is like your more refined line art. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily line art, it's still a sketch, but
right.
I've really adopted the mindset of line art is not a style that I want to incorporate into my art. I don't want to have this hyper clean line art. Mm-hmm. I definitely want that sketchy feel in my art. So instead, I definitely focus more on just cleaning up and refining my sketch and working with that.
Absolutely.
And I feel like it comes across more in the finished piece. It feels more organic. It feels more, it feels less digital. For sure, by doing that. I really like the difference between the eyes as well. I'm not sure if you keep that.
I do, because you can see in the reference that with the light on one eye, it creates a very big value shift. But since I haven't...
You just darkened it? Oh no.
I know. I think I even go back and lighten it a little bit later.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because I agree. I did once I darkened it, but didn't have like light on the face. It just creates a very odd effect. Her hair, oh man, I need to get better at hair.
This hair is looking awesome.
Oh, thank you. I'm just remembering how it looks in the end, and I'm like, oh no.
Oh no. Yes, I've had that so many times where like I'm watching something back and I'm like, oh wow, that's much better than what I finished with.
Isn't that funny? And it's so interesting. I feel like that happens to both of us pretty often where we're like, oh, I should have just stopped here and it would have been great. But no, I kept going and then the result is... But I guess that's how we're going to get better. We have to keep trying new things. Can't just stick with the same thing all the time.
But the benefit is that we get to have a conversation about it and watch it back so we can point them out to each other.
Very true. Very true.
This is actually looking really cool.
Thank you. It was really satisfying to actually start to paint it because really quickly the light looked believable to me in a way that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And then
awesome.
I think I just let myself get pretty frustrated with the hair and how like difficult that ended up being for me. But I went ahead and added color everywhere, not just to her face and hair. So it's roughly finished. It could have used a lot more work, but it was still satisfying to work on. I wasn't ever really tired of working on it. But at some point, I just set it down and I was like, okay, it's all done.
That's fair. Yeah, I've been there many times. That's typically how I finish most of my artworks, where I'm like, this is done now. Goodbye. Goodbye, artwork. I do new artwork now.
Yes, yes, exactly. Like this, I could go back and work on more, but I will not. I will go work on a new thing and take that farther too.
I have always been a proponent of quantity over quality in terms of learning. I think that oftentimes I would say that people as they progress will flip-flop back and forth, where you will go through periods where you'll focus on quality and periods where you can focus and want to focus on just quantity. But I would say in general, most of the time I think quantity is the most important thing in terms of growth, like as an artist, in terms of improvement.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's been a big part of our philosophy from the get-go is quantity over quality, especially from the very beginning. I just realized I said from the get-go, which you actually just told me this morning was a phrase that you've heard me say a lot more recently. You're like, did somebody say this to you at work or something? And I'm like, no, I think my mom just has always said it.
It's embodied you now, so you say it all the time.
I thought I always said it all the time.
No. No, but every time you say it, I think of From the Gecko, which I really like from like, TikTok. I really like the dappled light. Big fan. I also really like your first face. The first face that you did is so stylized and appealing. You did a fantastic job. I would sculpt that face.
Wow, that is a huge compliment. Thank you.
And if you want me to sculpt your face, click that like and subscribe button and check out our guidebook, How to Easily Draw Every Day, at the link in the description.
Share your work on Instagram with #Drawbli because drawing is better with friends.
And this is the part where we say...
Goodbye.
Goomba.
I do like how this one turned out. Quite a lot, actually. Initially, I wasn't sure, but yeah.
Now that I'm here, like, I would sculpt that face. You're like, oh.
That's big. That's big upping me up. That's great.
That's big upping me up.
Yeah.
I'm so upped right now.
I'm so upped right now. I love to connect with professional Ben.